someone sent me a DM and asked me a question about how I live my life. What do I do on a day-to-day basis? What tangible things do I actually do to change who I am? What did I actually do in the past? Well, there are some things that you can do, and I'm going to share them with you. I've made a list of 12 things that I think will change your entire identity, will rebrand who you are. You won't be able to recognize yourself if you do this consistently for 30 days. I will promise you, you will feel, act, think, believe, and see yourself as a new man or new person, depending on if you're a woman or a guy watching this video. But these are the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, and it has definitely shaped my life the way that it is now, and it has helped me with all of the internal work as well, because again, these are tangible things. So these are things that you can actively do. They don't necessarily focus on the internal work, but they are a really good addition to doing the internal work. So let's dive in. First thing that I wrote down is waking up as early as you can. So I wake up every day between 4:30 and 5 a.m. I don't really set an alarm. So sometimes I wake up at 4:30. Most of the times I wake up between like 4:45, 5 a.m., but never later than 5 actually. So waking up at 5 a.m. If you wake up at 6 now, wake up at 5 a.m. If you wake up at 5 now already, wake up at 4:30 a.m. I want you to do something that is uncomfortable for you, okay? And we'll come back later in the video as to why waking up early is so important. But it is one of my biggest lifesavers. Like, for example, now, it's not even noon, and I have finished so much work. Like, I have done everything that I need to do for the rest of the day, and I've got the rest of the day to just be creative, make new content, help my clients, serve, make impact, do the things that I really want to do, because I've been up from 5. I've already done my workout, I've done my cardio, I've already made content, I've done a lot of work. It's a fucking cheat code, all right? Especially if you're a guy in your 20s or maybe in your begin 30s, you don't have kids yet. This is a 100,000% must do. Wake up fucking early, all right? Number 2, immediately after waking up, move your body. This is one of the things that is a non-negotiable for me as well. I either do push-ups or I do a routine that I saw from Mr. Mike Holland, who is like a body movement coach. Releasing the fascia is what it's called, releasing tension from the body right after you sleep. I guarantee you, do this for 30 days. It is insane. It is absolutely insane. Right, so movement. Then, no particular order, but cold exposure. I have a cold plunge here. I go into the cold plunge. This is one of the things that is absolutely, well, it's probably one of the best things that you can do to become more disciplined, because the last thing that you want to do when you wake up early in the morning is step into a 40-degree cold plunge, or in European terms, an 8 degrees Celsius cold plunge. If you don't have a cold plunge, take a cold shower. I promise, I'm telling you, it will wake you the fuck up, especially if you haven't done this before. You wake up early, you're kind of tired, take a cold shower, especially if you're in a cold country like the Netherlands, UK, Germany, for example. The showers are pretty fucking cold. Denmark, Scandinavia. It's really fucking good. Okay. 4, read every single day. So I cannot stress this enough. We often forget to, we are tied to this fucking thing here, all right? And you can check how many hours a day you spend on this thing. Now, most people are just scrolling, scrolling. And all that time that you spend scrolling, you are not helping your brain at all. You are actually, literally, you are breaking down your brain, because your brain needs, if you scroll, I'll make a separate video about doom scrolling, for example, but it's literally hurting your brain. It's damaging your brain. It's affecting your ability to remember. Short-term memory loss, you might have noticed this, that short-term memory, but with most people, it's just gone. So all the time that you spend on this, take a subject, philosophy, it could be psychology, it could be self-improvement, right? Anything that helps you, that feeds you with positive things, that helps you to become more aware, and read that every single day. I read it in the morning, but I also read at night. I also, if I have some time left, I read throughout the day, because I 100% do that over scrolling. I still scroll. I'm not going to say that I don't do it, but I try to avoid as much as I can. And I just replace it with reading something, okay? Then, number 5 on the list is meditate or journaling. Well, I meditate. Not every day, so it's kind of like journaling and meditating, but it is a very, very good exercise for you to just kind of clear your head, clear your thoughts. Especially meditation is a very good antidote to scrolling, is a very good antidote to not being focused. So could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Some breath work, for example, is also what I see falls on the meditation. Breath work is amazing to regulate your nervous system. It's something that I do at least twice a week. I would highly recommend doing that. Then take 10K steps a day. This is a life change. If you want to lose belly fat, if you want to get ripped, which you do want to get, you want to get fucking ripped, 10K steps minimum every single day. That is a non-fucking negotiable. Also, another good way to stop yourself from doing this, go out. I don't listen to music when I go out for a walk, by the way. I leave my phone most of the times at home. Just go out for a walk and enjoy nature, enjoy what's around, be alone with my thoughts, zoom out of the world. I do this usually, so in 1 hour, it will be 12 noon. I'll have my lunch and I'll go for a little walk after that. It's like this hour that I have just kind of reset my brain and be ready for the next leg of the day. So 100%. Most people in their lunch break or whatever it is that you do, they start looking at this thing again. Go for a walk. I'll promise you, 10K steps, you'll get shredded as fuck. Then 3 times a week, heavy weight training. And I don't mean like weight training, I mean heavy weight training. Like literally push yourself, build some fucking muscle, show your body what you can do. 3 times a week is all you need to build muscle, sustain whatever your goal is. But I see so many people going to the gym and they do these half-ass fucking workouts. When you go to the gym, give it your all, especially if you're only going 3 times a week. I go 4 times a week, but I could also go 3 times a week. But I like to go 4 times a week. And I go hard. I'm not in the gym for long. I'm 40 minutes, usually 40 minutes in the gym. My heavy weight training workouts is 40 minutes. That's it. And then I have my cardio, for example, which is about 30 to 40 minutes too. But I won't do that when I'm not cutting. So literally 40 minutes in the workout, just fucking blasting it, okay? Number 8, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no vapes, no weed, nothing, no drugs. Just quit out all of that stuff. Especially if you're a guy right now and you vape, it's fucking gay. Don't do that. But also alcohol is probably one of the biggest ones. I would highly recommend just quitting alcohol. Guys, this is a 30-day thing, all right? You want to change your life, you want to rebrand yourself, you want to be a completely new person in 30 days, quit all of those things. You know what it is that you're doing, stop it. Then 9, probably the hardest one, no sugar. This is probably one of the biggest changes I've made in my life is not eating sugar. Sugar is probably one of the worst addictions there is. It's this silent addiction that we don't really focus on that much, and it's so easy because everything around us has sugar in it, and you'll be surprised on how many products actually have sugar in it. When you go out for dinner, for example, the sauces that you might have on your fries or whatever it is, a lot of this contains sugar. Try and do it for 30 days. You'll see the difference in how you feel, how you sleep, for example, is very, very important. Then 10, eat whole foods. So I basically eat whole foods. That's the only thing I eat. Go to bed early. This is number 11. So when you wake up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., you will get tired at like 6, 7, or 8 p.m. So I am in bed by usually 8 p.m. and I'm asleep by 9:30, so that I can get a good 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, a lot of people I hear you can say, oh, but what about my social life? I can't go out at night. Like, really? If your social life is tied to you going out at night and spending money at dinners, or you going out on Friday or Saturday night with friends and drinking, and that is your social life, then look, it's all about what you value, right? I don't need that to have a social life. I have a great social life, and I do not go out. I do not spend dinners. I do not spend time with my friends until 11 or 12 at night, or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. having a dinner or drinks or whatever. I have lunches. I go out for workouts. We go and have a hike. We go to the shooting range. I do horse riding. I have a run club here. Like, there's so many different. If your life is really dependent on going out at night for social life, then you have to reevaluate what you, the friends that you hang out with, or what you see as socializing. Okay, so go to bed early. Number 12 is learn a new skill in the next 30 days. The reason why I put this on is because if you want to rewire your identity, you have to rewire certain things in your brain as well. And learning a new skill, especially things like languages, for example, work really well to change your brain structure, which helps with creating other neural pathways as well. So if you look at it from a neuroscience perspective, that if you want to change yourself, the only way that you can truly change is by making decisions consistently so that it creates a pattern. That is how you create new neural pathways in your brain, which eventually create new habits. New habits over a long period of time create a part of your identity, right? They are built upon values. They create a new standard which you live by, which eventually becomes part of your identity. Now, if you want to, the way that I see it is if you want to add, another element to that, like give it a boost, for example, learning a new skill every single day, if it's only 10 minutes, it will help you. Now, this could be anything, right? So it could be, for example, what I did a couple months back was 30 days. I decided to learn public speaking. I decided to improve my speaking skills, to use less filler words, to be more cohesive with my story, to be able to articulate better. I did that for 30 days and it was amazing. And I did it for just 10 to 15 minutes every single day with a course that I followed on YouTube. But now I'm learning Spanish, for example. Especially languages is very important, but it could also be, I don't know, learn an instrument. Anything that you feel passionate about, that you think is interesting. There's probably things that you have right now that you want to learn that you've been putting off. Make time every single day, 10 to 15 to 20 minutes to do that. And I know you have a busy schedule, but look, you want to change your identity. You want to become the best version of yourself. You have to make time to become that person. If you don't want to make time for that, then you're always going to be lost to the outcome of the identity that you have now. So those are 12 things that I would highly recommend. These are things that I do on a day-to-day basis. They have absolutely transformed my life because my life didn't used to look like this. You will see that when you do these things, it is not a strict lifestyle. In the beginning, it might feel like that, but it will create a lot of structure. It will create a lot of routine. It will create a lot of accountability for yourself. And once you create these things, you can then build upon these things again. So when you finish this 30 days, for example, one, you will feel better, you will act better, you will think better, you will sleep better, you have more energy, you will do more business, you will create more impact, you will feel more proud of yourself, you will be able to trust yourself more because if you've been able to do something for 30 days straight consistently, which is something uncomfortable because your old identity hasn't done any of these things, then you're going to look back at those 30 days and be like, I'm a guy that follows through. I'm actually keeping my own word. And that is something good because that signals your mind, your body, and your soul that you can do other stuff as well. And that is where it begins. This is why these 30 days, you can see this as a sort of reset, but it will change the way that you think, feel, look. Yeah, and look as well. You can get pretty shredded in those 30 days if you follow the 10K steps a day and do the workouts every single week. Eat clean, cut out sugar, don't go out, don't drink alcohol. That's it, guys. It's not that hard, but it is that hard because your identity is wired to go for comfort. So waking up early, taking cold exposure, not doing the things that are pleasure, give you pleasure, are things that are all, pretty uncomfortable for your current identity. So you'll have to fight against your current identity, but that is exactly why it will change you. Because if it wasn't something that is going to fight against who you currently are, then it wouldn't change anything about who you are now. So guys, let me know what you think about this. If you have any things that you think are important that can get on the list as well, let me know in the comments. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, guys, I'm happy to help you. Send me a text on Instagram. We'll see what we can do to turn you into the best version of yourself, resolve past traumas, deal with insecurities, and actually become the most disciplined guy that you can be. Become the version of you that you know is out there. You know that he exists. You know that he's out there somewhere, but you're not him. And that gap between who you are now and who you can become, that is frustrating. And eventually you'll have to make a decision to come there. Now, I did this going into solitude, creating a system because this is what people lack. We don't know how to go in, right? We always try and fix stuff on the outside, but that doesn't work. We have to fix the internal world because the outside world is just merely a reflection of who we are on the inside. Once we fix what is inside, once we correct, I wouldn't even say fix, but once we understand what is inside, we become aware of that, then we can decide to make changes slowly but surely over the course of a couple months, and you will completely rebrand, reinvent, and rewire your identity for success. Deal with all of your insecurities. If you want that, send me a message on Instagram, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.